Do you need to know how to make the best burgers possible out on your Traeger grill? In this video, I'm going to show you how to get the perfect outside with a juicy inside, whether you're smoking low and slow or grilling hot and fast. I'll share the temps and the times for a great burger, how to melt your cheese and warm up those buns, and at the end, I'm going to go over some troubleshooting tips to help your cookout be successful. The hamburgers that we are using today out on our Traeger to test this slow cook versus the fast cook, I'm using some frozen 3rd pound sirloin burgers that I got from my favorite club store. And the reason I like to use these pre-made patties is because they will cook more evenly than handmade patties. When we do it by hand, they will not all be the exact same thickness, which means they will all reach that final internal temperature at different times. Some will be undercooked, some will be overcooked, or they'll all be overcooked depending on what you have going on. So this is what I trust when I want to make my burgers to be even, so everyone's gonna get a great juicy burger. I'm starting this off by seasoning 4 burgers with my Traeger rub. It's a great all-purpose seasoning that I like for everything from chicken to burgers to steak. So we're gonna get these 4 seasoned really well, and then we're gonna take them outside to the Traeger, which has been preheating to 250 degrees. For this batch, I'm gonna insert the Traeger probe so I can watch the temperature as it goes up and see when these are gonna be done. Alrighty. So my smoked burgers are in there cooking. My grill came up to 250, and we're gonna see how long this takes. When the temperature on my probe read that it was at 125, I decided to go flip the burgers. I wanted to check the color, which was a really deep reddish brown. I thought it looked really good and really flavorful already. By the time the burgers got up to the 135 mark, they seemed to have hit a little bit of a stall. So I took a secondary thermometer out there to double check the temperature, and sure enough, it was accurate. I just had to see it a second time to know that it was on. It ended up taking 50 minutes for that internal temperature to hit 145 degrees. So at this point, I took my sliced cheddar out there and then I put my buns on the top rack so they can get toasty and a little bit warm. I double checked my burgers one more time to see what my final temperature was, and we hit about 149, 150 mark in each of those burgers. So pulled them off, and now we're gonna let them rest. I'm going to very gently cover these with foil. I want them to stay warm, but I do not want to wreck that melted cheese. And while my Traeger comes up now to a temperature of 375, I'm gonna get my burger fixings ready. So I'm gonna do some lettuce, tomato, some ultra thinly sliced red onion, all the condiments, all the things. I'm gonna get that ready, and then we'll get our next burgers on there too. Let's season this next batch. So my Traeger has reached 375 degrees outside. I'm gonna season these up the same and get these on there. We'll be eating in, should be about 25 minutes, I hope. I'm gonna get my seasoned burgers out here directly on the grill grates and then cook them like this again with the lid closed for 8 to 9 minutes. Then I will flip them, and then after another 8 to 9 minutes, I will check the temperature. So these burgers got up to an internal temperature of 155 in about 18 minutes total. So pretty quick if you're looking for a fast meal at home. I am pretty starving though, so I'm pretty excited to get these burgers inside and do a side-by-side comparison. I have everything set up and completely ready to go. In this little white jar, I have my burger sauce, which is just a combination of mayo, ketchup, mustard, and some of that Traeger rub that I used on my burgers. Now, when I get this ready to bite into, I want it to be super simple. So I'm just gonna do bun, burger sauce, and the patty. That way we'll get a really clear comparison side by side of the actual meat flavor from being smoked versus grilled. There's definitely a difference looks-wise. There was a lot more shrinkage on my grilled burgers. They tightened up quite a bit. My smoked burgers pretty much held their shape. They didn't change much. All right, let's cut into both of them. All right, let's check out the color in our grilled burger first. This one was the one that got up to about 155, so still just a slight pink center. It comes through on the camera just a little bit less than what I can see in person. And then for our smoked burger, it held on to a little bit more of that pinkish reddish color. All right, the most important part is the taste test. So let's see how they held up. I'm gonna do my smoked burger first and take a little bite. So this smoked burger held on to more of its moisture, I think, than a regular burger that's grilled at a high temperature. And I think that I can just see that looking at the two different patties, because there was more shrinkage in our grilled burger cooked at 375 versus our low and slow cooked at 250. It held on to more of that fat and that moisture inside, I think less rendered out and escaped our burger. So it's more moist than I thought it was gonna be. In my head, I just thought smoking it and cooking it for longer would lead to more potential for drying out, but that is not the case at all. It's a tender, flavorful, wonderful cheeseburger that I would be happy to eat at someone's house if they cooked it for me. But let's double check Old Faithful here in our grilled burger. I can't go wrong. You can never go wrong with just a grilled cheeseburger. So cooked at 375, cooked super fast. In just 18 minutes, it reached that internal temperature of 155, which I'm good with. I was almost worried that it was going to be overcooked, but it's not at all. So this is what you need to decide, because both of these are good. And now you have the temp and the time so that you can plan your meal. So working backwards from when you want all of your hot food to hit the counter to feed everyone, you just have to decide how long you want it to take to get there. And then that'll tell you what temperature to cook at and when to get everything on. So I like to have all of my fixings and everything on a board ready to go. I think it's a fun presentation, and I think it's easy for everyone who's putting together their burger to grab from, to assemble, because aside from having delicious food when we're entertaining people, it being easy to eat, easy to serve, fun and not fussy, that is what it's all about, and that'll keep everybody coming around for more. I had promised just a couple extra tips to make your cookout perfect. 1, don't forget to fill that hopper. Running out of pellets at any time is a problem. 2, make sure your drip pan is super clean. Whenever you're cooking something fatty like burgers, brisket, pork shoulder, it's more likely to have a flare up from that grease. Lastly, buy those patties from the store. Don't even worry about hand making them. Now go have a great weekend. Thanks for watching.